So then, would you like to move on to the main course now? Huh? The next part of the meal? Ah, yes! With the larger portions! Choose. Do it properly and wisely, or else I will need to consume something else for my main course. Oh, you can consume me till I put you. How's it going, everyone? My name is Lionel, and welcome to May I Take Your Order. This is a game where you play as a waiter, and you're supposed to serve up a lovely couple with very strange tastes indeed. And from what I can see, there's gonna be a lot of tentacles, so I'm excited. Let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, I've been filling out a few applications today, and this is the last one. I've been applying to work at a restaurant all over. It seems not so glamorous, but I want to see how different places are run. If I want to open my own restaurant someday, it's crucial to see what does and doesn't work. A friend told me I should save my top pick for last, and I should really kick him for that. My hand's about to fall off. It's a pretty ritzy establishment, but comfortable. Fancy, but not overpriced. Important clientele, but still kind and inclusive. If you can't make connections here, you're dead, financially speaking. And the food, remarkable. I've never heard of anyone ever having a bad meal there. I gotta know how they accomplished so much. So I try not to be too nervous and fill this out like it's any other application. My name is, Lionel. There we go, Lionel. I fill in my address and try not to despair over my handwriting before getting to the personal section. Gender is, female, male, or non-binary. I'm a dude today. And I finished filling out the form. I kept the pen and leaned back in my chair. Man, it's nice to be done. Well, except for heading outside and turning them all in, one at a time. Better get to it. 2 weeks later, I'm waist deep in my first Saturday shift at the restaurant. Busy doesn't even begin to describe it. After 7 hours of the weekend rush, I'm ready to go home. I stop off at table 6 and go through the motions. Thank you for dining with us, sir. My name is Lionel, and I'll be your server this evening. He smiles at me. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Lionel. Have you dined with us before, sir? Yes, indeed. I'm quite happy to be back. Just you this evening, sir? My girlfriend will be here shortly. Yeah, I'll just be having a cup of coffee while I wait for her. Yeah, I'll go get that for you right away then. No rush. Countless families and couples have come and gone today, but for the past hour, that one guy's been clogging up table 6. Are you doing alright, sir? He checks his watch again. Yeah, I mistook the time. She'll be here any second. He's been saying that for the past 45 minutes. I tell him to pack it up and leave, but he doesn't have the look I'd expect of someone in his position. There's anxiety, but only a little bit, and there's no disappointment. Not a shred of doubt in his eyes. He really thinks, excuse me. He looks up at me. It seems he's come to some sort of decision. Thank good. But this is a restaurant with crayons, correct? Why would you need crayons? Yes, sir. We have those for kids. Excellent. A sting of ferocity enters his eyes, one that doesn't quite pair naturally with crayons. One, please, and red, if you got it. Yeah, sure. I'm not about to argue with customers, so I head to the front. It's not exactly usual, but the guy has been sitting there for half an hour with no phone. I'm caught between pity and irritation and hope for the umpteenth time that he has enough empathy to tip me well on the single cup of coffee he's been nursing. There's a small tin with several crayons. We try to keep fresh ones ready. I grab... Why is this my first choice? He said red, so I'm gonna give him red. I snatch up a red crayon. No sense being mean to him. He may be weird, but he's probably having a bad night too. I bring the crayon back over to him and hand it over. Thank you, Mr. Lionel. It's no big deal. Hey, you okay? I saw you don't have a cell phone, but we could call your girlfriend and... No warning, no nothing. He knocks everything off the table and climbs right on. What? Sir? Please get down! His deft hand scrawls a white circle, then another, then sections off areas, slicing as though the crayon were a knife. He fills it with symbols. They almost look like zodiac signs. Homo sumu mami amenil alienum puto. It's like I stood up too fast. There's rushing to my head. It's the pressure. Like my ears are going to pop. Oh. Oh no. Ah. 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 The tablecloth rips and there's a spray of sweet smelling fluid. I leap away from the table as something bursts out. Hello, beautiful. Hi. Wet spiked appendages are flailing all over, slapping and snaking their way over to the windows and doors. They're fleshy but soft, too soft, and they mush and disfigure as they slam against everything in sight. One smacks the hat off another diner, who continues to eat her meal, unfazed. Nobody is screaming, and nobody notices me on the ground, arms raised to protect my face and throat too tight to scream again. That's okay. That thing is screaming enough for the entire restaurant. It's letting out a dual-tone screech, high and low, but I can't discern one throat, let alone two. Crayon thrown to the floor. The stood-up guy and worst diner ever starts to call out at it. Sweetie! For goodness sake, put your body on. We're in a nice restaurant. It screeches and roars back to him. I know, but... He waves a bundle of cloth at it. I brought you some clothing, and it's super comfy. It slurps up the bundle of fabric, and the creature bubbles and draws back in on itself, twisting until... Hello? Hi! I emerge! You're here! You had me worried, so I figured I'd help break the barrier down a bit. Taliporia, you have no idea how good it is to see you. When he says that word, my ears finally pop and my teeth grit. It's a bad word. It's not a curse word per se, not so much a word you would say in front of your boss. It feels like the wrong answer in a classroom or meeting. That moment where everyone turns and looks at you. And you kinda just want to sink through the floor. I just want to sink through the floor. I want to go very quietly to grab my coat and change my name and move on to whatever town is on the exact opposite point on the globe from where I'm currently standing. You would inform me that the barrier was to be frail in this portion of your world. I will hold you responsible for the trouble. He beams at the thing that came out of the hole, but I can't look at it. It hurts to roll my eyeballs towards it, like I'm dehydrated. But I close my eyes. The dark behind my eyelids is so cool and so soft. Huh. There are tears running down my cheek. A hand noticed. The guy, Hendrik, beams and gestures towards the gaggle of eyes and puffy wool. This is my girlfriend, Taliporia. Impudent microbe! I may choose to craft for myself the form of a creator, a birthing one. But I am capable of far greater creations than your prepubescent females. And far more erroneously, your inflated ego thinks I would deign to refer to you as any form of companion. Her words wash over him like a gentle breeze. It looks like she could rip his face off, but her roars just make his eyes brim with joy. We've been dating for about 400 years now, and so the long distance thing is an eensy bit of an annoyance. We make it work. The moment I finally devise an effective method of accomplishing your demise, I will rip your throat from your ever-regenerating body and chew it to a gruel. I swear, Hendrik is probably me in this visual novel. I know I'm playing as a waiter, but like, Hendrik is straight up me for smashing the heck out of this eldritch horror. He sits at the all but destroyed table and picks up his menu. But until that beautiful day when I can be with you forever, you're going to need to eat something else. Taliporia stops. She looks at me and I bounce between eyes, trying to contact which one that doesn't stare down into my deepest inadequacies. There is human fuel here? I nod. Her mouth breaks open into a smile? Excellent. You are spared from punishment, Hendrik, if only for a moment. She sits down, but not on a chair. Dozens of her tentacles are still present throughout the entire room, spikes driven deep into the surfaces, blocking all the exits. She settles into one of the squishy appendages, looking pleased. So then, maybe we should order an appetizer. It's not that I can't believe that this is happening. I have an open mind, but as far as some supernatural shifts to my life, I was really hoping for wizard school. Or just a plain old haunting. Some ghosts are pretty cool, right? At least with a zombie or something, I know the rules here. What are the rules with this thing? Do I throw rice on the ground to stall her? Will she attack me if I touch her with iron? I listen to my gut, but I can't make out anything but general foreboding. Demon. You summon demons. So that fits. But I don't know, something doesn't quite seem right about that. Maybe she's, excuse me. Yeah. I can barely think. But I can at least fall back on one set of rules. I struggle to stutter out a rote reply. Ooh, would you like to, start off with a super salad tonight? The man grins and gives an eager nod. It is my first Saturday. Can I please get the blue cheese salad? And for my sweetie, the Taliporia rolls her eyes and her teeth flash as she cuts in. Hendrik, I've been on enough of these sham dates to know that ordering for your companion is rude. His face falls. But it's been ages since you've eaten any food. You're chewing on the fork right now. She gives him a glare and slowly places the slightly bent cutlery back down on the table. Fine. But before he could say another word, she makes her move. I don't want your advice though. I want the young human to choose for me. Oh no. He sighs, annoyed. But he checks himself before looking at me. I think he knows that she's putting me on the spot. I can appreciate that he's trying to look out for me. I mean, I'd appreciate more if he could not have summoned some kind of eldritch being during an already busy Saturday shift. Or at all. I ease my throat open enough to squeak out. Tomato bisque, Caesar salad, lamb chili. A tomato bisque seems more her style, though. I mean, that's something I would recommend, personally. But I know the restaurant will want me to push the lamb chili. Because, hey, well, tomato bisque. This doesn't seem to mean much of anything to her. But we make a pretty killer tomato soup here, and it's popular with kids. I have no idea what flavors would taste good on their mouth. It's best to stick with something with broad appeal. My eyes flit back over to Hendrik, and there's mild disappointment on his face. This isn't what he would have chosen, but it looks like he can work with it. And what would you like for your entree? She slams a fist down on the table. My stomach lurches. First, bring me the matter. This physical form requires fuel to sustain itself. I turn on my heel and fly out of there, an excuse to leave. Is there any kindly extra-dimensional being looking down on me right now? I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. I rush into the kitchen. Back in the kitchen, everyone's still bustling about. All the servers are calling in their orders. The ambitious cooks are working. The slightly less ambitious cooks are cracking jokes with each other. They're as oblivious as the customers out front. I can see my manager discussing some menu changes with the head chef. Hey, does anyone else see what's going on out there? But nobody turns to look at me. I'm serious, what's going on? Are they ignoring me? Expect me to just come back here and bring in this order like nothing's wrong? I take a sarcastic tone. Yeah, we got a blue cheese and a bisque for table 6. Just another usual night. Right. Without warning, a tray with the order is put down on the counter next to me. But other than that, there's no hint of a glance. No guilty looks. Hey! Nobody even flinches. Fine. Looks like I'm on my own. And did I tell you how lovely your eyes are this evening? From your ever effusive silver pipe of compliments springs something worthwhile. I made most of them myself, but the eye in the center of my head was my reference object. I couldn't even tell the difference. Your anatomy has gotten so much better since the last decade. It is easier when I have a fresh supply of study materials. So I suppose I can remain here long enough to consume some matter. Let no sentient being claim that I did not repay my debts. Well, this is one part of the perks of my job. Teachers can bring home knowledge. Cooks can bring home food. And surgeons can bring spare body parts back to their girlfriends. I can say with relative certainty that this isn't how it works. If I ever find out this man's last name, I'm never going to his hospital. I served Teleporia her bisque, trying not to get too close. Please be careful, it's very hot. Remember, sweetie, that too much heat can injure... Silence, meat garden! I know what to do with volatile heat sources! She flings the scalding liquid across the table and hits Hendrik square in the chest. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. He rushes out to the bathroom, face red from pain. We don't serve our soups at a heat that could do permanent damage, but that still has to hurt. She closes most of her eyes and inhales a deep breath, satisfied. When she speaks again, her rough voice has a tranquil tone. Clean it up, human! This is an establishment with standards, is it not? Well, it was, I mutter. The elegant charm might be a bit altered by the sudden presence of giant tentacles. She snuggles down into her seat. This is a gift for your owners! This is a sliver of my true form! Well, it's, lovely. Sorry that you didn't like the bisque. Apology unnecessary, human. I enjoyed that immensely. She wraps the scarf around herself. Now that I think about it, the clothing Hendrik brought for her is all very heavy. A maxi skirt, a thick sweater, a blanket scarf. The way you're clutching that scarf, are you cold? You may not have my scarf. It retains my heat. I will continue to generate and retain heat, and it will belong to me, not you. The soup would have helped heat you up too. I take a step back. No, that's all your heat. Fair and square? She growls. Happily? Yes, all mine. Hendrik will be procuring more matter this evening, which will continue to power this form. Physical exertion is a luxury, the caloric energy necessary to move but a digit. She lifts one of her own claws. It's precious. I have gone for thousands of years lying in wait for foolish summoners to tear open rifts and let in the good heat from your world. Teleporia leans down the table. The edges of the scarf trails into her bisque. Or at least what's left of it. Is it selfish to be happy that she's disarmed now? I look at the still present tentacle and recalculate that statement. She at least cannot harm me with soup. That's something. So, human, how do you enjoy generating your own heat? That's good. I'd rather just turn on the heater, though. It's not great, really. Have you ever gotten sweaty? I like it. Physical activity is fun. I can't complain. I mean, yeah. Physical activity is fun. I, too, enjoy hunting. Actual consumption of matter at times comes seconds to the thrill of pursuing a terrified creature. Well, I was thinking about exercise, to keep in shape. She stops. Do you waste your fuel on extra heat? No, it isn't a waste. It's fun. She hisses through her jagged teeth. The human enjoys this, does he? Yeah, it's nice to be able to move, isn't it? She taps her knife against her glass. Well, I suppose. Whew! And Hendrik returns. Getting along well? As well as might be expected. Still, thank you for keeping her company. We'll eat our appetizers then. She shakes her head. I'm finished with mine. He laughs. Oh, of course. How could I forget? So then, would you like to move on to the main course now? Huh? The next part of the meal? Ah, yes! With the larger portions! Hendrik points to her menu. So, what were you thinking about? I always like steak, but I admit that I was kind of thinking about splurging on the... Hey, human Lionel! I snap to attention. Yes, ma'am. Choose. Do it properly and wisely, or else I will need to consume something else for my main course. Oh, you can consume me, Teleporia. She's staring me right in the eyes, and her gaze lingers on my mouth. She stares at my teeth and licks her lips. Oh, baby, yes! Does she eat my teeth? Well, I think you would enjoy... Okay, the steak, live lobster, squidding pasta. Well, live lobster. Like, I'm pretty sure she would appreciate eating, like, live lobsters. Hendrik gives a bit of a nod. That's my order, too. It's been a while, but this is a special night. What? At what point did humans enjoy the joy of consuming live creatures? Wait, she doesn't think I'll serve it to her while it's still. No, sweetie, I'm afraid that most of us are still a bit prudish about this sort of thing. But they have a tank here, so the lobster is fresh. Blech. Nothing is as fresh as squeezing the life from a creature with your jaws. Feeling it rise and struggle in fruitless attempts to stave off the icy curtain of death. She's looking straight at my throat. 2 lobster dinners coming right up. I rush away as quickly as I can. I try to convince the chef to let me serve 1 lobster live. I feel downright ghoulish, but between me and a crustacean, I'm going to defend myself every time. But her reaction is the same as the last time. She prepares the dishes as usual and hands them off to me, never making eye contact or reacting to anything I say. What is this? She lifts up the extra utensil. It's lobster cracker. You use that to crack open the shell. This is a fair idea, but such a waste, Lionel. To use this on a deceased creature. Well, if the food is dead, isn't it easier to consume? She waves a claw at me. Not if you have to crack it open anyway. Hendrik is already digging the meat out of his. I like it. It's soothing to have a little tactile activity as part of your meal. Teleporia's claws slip on the lobster cracker. Meat shield! How are you employing your tool? Well, you put either end of the metal bit over, raise it up, and demonstrate. He holds the lobster cracker and one leg up, leaning forward so they're close enough for her to get a good look. She holds hers up, pantomiming his actions, then properly grabbing one of his hands, wrapping the cracker around his pointer finger and gripping it tightly. His finger juts out at an odd angle and blood drips onto the torn tablecloth. She cackles and throws the metal tool at his head. Fool! I can easily employ such a simple item. Is he blushing? He's leaning away from his injured hand, the other on his face. Right, you are. You got me. He sure does look embarrassed. It's really hard to tell through the pain. I mean, there's an expression of pain on his face, right? I guess she got him. I don't know. Did she get him feeling all sorts of funky? Like, oh God. He breathes heavily, trying to get himself under control. As though to prove a point, he goes right back to eating dinner. As though nothing were wrong. So, before I go, is everything to your liking? Is the food, powering your true form enough? Silly Lionel. When in my true form, I do not consume human fuel. Huh? This human template. What did you call it? Hendrix caught mid-bite, and he covers his mouth to respond. Human sona! My human sona! It consumes calories, inhales oxygen, excretes feces. All the same as you yourself, I assume. Wait, are you saying that this is literally like her persona, but as a human? Oh God! I never expected to have a restaurant patron ask if I breathe and poop, but here we are. But my true form requires something much more deeply sustaining. She stares me down. She looks at my teeth again. She looks me in the eye. She holds that eye contact and waits. I try not to squirm, but my moxie is inadequate for the situation. She waits, and then laughs. I can breathe again. Delicious. A light dusting of fear. Nothing too overwhelming. If that doesn't strike her as much fear, please let me never ever learn what does. So you eat fear then? It falls under my purview. Suffering. Sweetie's true form eats concepts, and she builds her human sonas to have quite a taste for them too. Any form of important emotion can sustain her, but she's picky. I am not. Suffering is the only thing worth eating. Eating anything else would be beneath me. It's okay. Whatever you eat, I love you just the way you are. And I would like you much better with several more stab wounds to the head. Anytime, sweetie. Oh, So I managed to sneak away for the next 15 minutes. I know that I'll eventually have to return. I try to strike up a conversation with the line cooks again. So, how do you guys feel about the recent tentacle invasion? Of course, nobody responds. Yeah, it's hard to really put into words, huh? No response. There's just click. I think the spooky atmosphere has a certain charm, but I don't think it'll catch on with the baby boomers. Conventional wisdom says that they like elegance or rustic charm. And Midwestern moms are not into dripping fluids. I mean, as a general group. I don't want to assume individual tastes. This gets boring quickly. So after the appropriate waiting period, I head back over. So, thank you for dining with us tonight. Yeah, I did it. I made it through the evening. I'm tempted to not even give them a check, to just rush them right out the door. But I refuse to slip up now. It's been a delight getting to know the both of you. How kind of you. You know, I was planning on heading out, but you know what? I could care less if I attempted. And I am very powerful. I'm capable of carrying far less than most humans could in their most pathetic dreams. Let's do dessert. Okay. Yeah, I look from a smiling face to Teleporia's cruel one. I know how this goes. Let's make a recommendation. Okay, caution to the bananas foster flambe! Do you like drinking dinner brandy, chocolate tort? Bananas foster flambe! Is my professionalism slipping? Must be. What are we impregnating? Sweetie, it's a figure of speech! I don't have that function this time around. Sweetie, I think he's just... Oh, no. Wait, okay, well, I want to know what's the right answer for this. Hang on. How's about after dinner brandy? And since nobody seems to notice what I do this evening, I'll just grab a glass for myself. It pulls up a chair. And she can eat up all the discomfort she wants. I like this human. I'm keeping him. Sweetie, no! But I'm already off, grabbing the bottle and a trio of glasses. I slam them down on the table and I fill them up. I'll bet you haven't had a good drink in, well, how long has it been since you've been stuck in that cold place? She grabs a glass. Void. Boy, God. What's it like in there? She knocks back the brandy like it's whiskey. Probably goes without saying that she doesn't drink much. Dark, cold, mostly barren. Locked for something approaching an eternity with nothing but your own thoughts. Unless one can become creative. I do my best to make creatures feel it, but it is a vast expanse. Literally endlessly big, but with nothing in it. Yeah, I caught parts of your conversation before. You mean your body, right? Indeed. When rifts become open, I'm able to seize not only heat, but stray matter. I model majority of my creations after your carbon-based life forms, but modifications must be made. I'll bet if the void doesn't have any heat or any matter. You need to make creatures that don't eat or breathe, right? Good human. I model most of them after myself. And you eat concepts? Yes. After billions and billions of years, I've evolved over 1 million species of void creature. Nearly all of them feed, as do I, on the concept of suffering. So it's an endless barren place with no light, no heat, where the only things that exist just go around preying on each other's suffering all the time. Yes! Is it not marvelous? And someday, human Lionel, there will be a rift large enough that is not tiny scraps and stray humans which fall through, but your entire plane of existence. I'm starting to wonder, is there an eldritch being out there that like feeds off feral emotions? Oh god, you will enjoy it. Wouldn't I hate it? I reach for the bottle, but it's nearly empty. She's been putting it real fast. I mean, I don't enjoy suffering. You'd be surprised what humans can get used to. He finally takes a sip of his brandy. I used the wrong English word. A closer translation might be resignation. You would become resigned to an existence saturated with pain. Enjoy isn't the correct term. Unless you're a disgusting cluster of miswired brain signals. Love you too, sweetie. Ugh. I know what you're doing, Hendrik. Huh? You think if you can keep delaying me with fancy dinners, stolen body parts, gentle words, and rough adult fun times? Could we not talk about our adult fun time in public, thank you? She places a hand on his arm. That you can stop me. You are, as always, disgusting, but an appealing opponent. With that, she slumps over on the table, snoring loudly. I now can tell. That is a smile on her face. Aww. He turns her to her side, brushing her hair off her face, and wraps her up in her scarf. I'm sorry, Lionel. This must have been awfully difficult for you tonight. I didn't think they'd give us someone so new. Yeah, the manager didn't warn me that we had special clientele. Then again, it is like my first day at work. Was not even close to briefed for it. Well, you handled it marvelously. If you'd like to bring us a check, I think it's time to get her home. I nod and clean up the bottle and glasses. So, are you going to lock her up or something? He chuckles. No, this is just a sliver of the entity deep in the void. She can always make another body. But when she recalls the memories and experiences from this one, I want to make sure she knows. She can always switch diets. I ponder that while I get his check. She's been around longer than our species. Longer than our planet. So no matter how old Hendrik is, it's nowhere close. But when I bring the check back, Mr. Hendrik? Huh? I'm rooting for you. Keep on doing the hero thing. He laughs all the way through signing the check, loudly. My dear Lionel, I assure you, I'm not being noble. I know, Mr. Hendrik, like you and I, we are the same, okay? Like you want to badonkadonk those damn tentacle ladies out there, like those ladies, those gentlemanlies, those envies in betweenies. Like heck, even I do want to smash all the eldritch abominations. Like heck, that's kind of my deal here, Mr. Hendrik. It's very, very selfish. Oh, I know. He looks at Talaporia. She grinds her teeth a little, probably dreaming of biting someone. He scoops her up, making it look so easy. She must be lighter than she looks. And for a moment, I think he's going to kiss her on the cheek. But he doesn't give her anything more than a loving gaze. He carries her out of the restaurant, and the second they step outside the door, everything goes back to normal. I start bussing the table. The tentacles may be gone, but the tablecloth is still a mess. I get it now. The closed space must have been part of the restaurant to keep people safe from their bizarre guests. Now that they're gone, it'll be up to Hendrik to keep everyone safe. I bust the table and sneak a peek at the check. Dang. An 80% tip on a check with lobster and a full bottle of brandy. Makes the idea of staying here pretty tempting. I'm honestly considering it. But first, I'm going to need to have a long talk with my manager. Normally, that sort of confrontation would be intimidating. But I'm bolstered by the memory of Taliporia's grin. And I grin too. I can handle it. Holy heck. That was lovely. Ending 5. Sweet in dreams. Anyway, that was the end of May I Take Your Order. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to play this for yourself and check out the other endings, hey, link to the game is in the description below. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lionel, signing off. Ciao.